Yo, Deep South Connect, it's all about respect. Today is one of my most anticipated interviews because I've got one of the best skateboarders from the Deep South in the house. Also, one of my best friends, one of my brothers in life, someone who I've learned a lot from in so many different aspects of life. Please welcome the skateboarding legend, Josh Adams.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Respect, my king. Shot for being on, brother.
No worries, man.
So we're gonna probably do a few interviews over the course of our life because we've been involved in so many different things.
For sure.
But for today, we're gonna talk about skateboarding. One of the things we're both passionate about and that you've maintained a consistency in that is unreal. So let's take it back to the beginning. How did you get into skateboarding?
There was a skate park where the current Checkers Mall is, and then I saw a dude do a ollie, which is basically lifting the board in the air, and that amazed me. And from then I was hooked, you know. And then somehow my dad bought me a skateboard. Probably hinted the fact that I really liked it, so he got me a skateboard, got me some shoes, and then I started skating. Since a young age, probably like 6 years old.
Yo, okay.
But I kind of never really got fully into it. It was kind of always just there. And then what really got me into it was when I met you or I saw you and Matt and Jethro and all the dudes from the distance when I came to the skate park in Fishhook.
By Caltex there, yeah.
So that definitely got me amped, and that definitely propelled me to take it more seriously and actually get it going, you know.
Respect to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to that time, Fishhook Skate Park, early to mid, or probably mid to late 2000s. Who inspired you? Like, if you think of skateboarders, there's a lot of legendary skateboarders in the valley. Obviously, the two goats have to be Justice and Vayner.
For sure.
They are the two undisputed goats of the Deep South when it comes to skateboarding. I would put you third, honestly. Out of all the skaters I've seen over the last 20 years watching the skateboarding scene, I would say this man is a top 5 in the valley skateboarder. Keeps it humble, so I know we don't need to get into it's not really about who's where, but just it's important for people to know. I think your legacy as a skateboarder, you are one of the best skaters ever out of the Deep South. So back to the question, who inspired you in those early days when you started taking it seriously?
I mean, to be honest, probably you, eh? I know it sounds probably didn't expect that one, but probably you, because you were the most, I guess, involved in terms of connecting to the younger kids, in terms of actually getting to know the younger kids and like trying to get them involved and teach them good disciplines, you know. Like I remember you with a crooked, like, bro, I'm gonna do like, 50 crookeds just to get my crooked mark in the right position, you know what I mean? That really stuck in my brain, you know what I mean? Obviously, Justice and Vaynant, I mean, especially Justice, I guess, he definitely inspired, in terms of just his abilities, and I mean, but he wasn't as involved as, someone like you. So I'd say you're probably the most inspiring person that inspired me the most, definitely in Fishhook. But I mean, a lot of the international also videos, that came out at the time, like the Cyrus video, the Cyrus Feed the Need, the Circa video. It's time. Yeah. I mean, that obviously, like a lot of the international stuff really hyped you because the level was so high.
Yes.
And it was so surreal seeing that, like, those tricks being done,
So speak about some of your favorite international skaters over the years.
Over the years, I'd have to say Mark Suchu, top one. Top for me.
Legend.
I mean, I just love the way he's so innovative, but also he doesn't put himself through hell to get the tricks. Obviously he does. I mean, it's obviously everything's hard. I mean, he doesn't have an easy battle, but I mean, he doesn't throw himself down like stairs like continuously just to be number one or just to maintain his sponsorships or his hype. He just does himself, and he believes in himself and just does it for him. Which is something I've only learned, unfortunately, in my later years. Like, you don't always have to do the best tricks or the hardest stuff. just do your tricks and not fixate on what you're doing and how hard the trick is, you know.
Yeah.
Which is hard to unlearn. It's natural because you want to be the best and you want to impress, you know. It's one of the downfalls I feel for myself in skateboarding is that I've always wanted to like on the low key, you know, impress and like what's the point? You know what I mean? Why are you trying?
I feel you.
It's so hard for me to have fun, you know.
I feel you.
Because I guess it gets to that point, you know, where you're good, and you expect it to be good and stay at that level. But if you're not good, then you don't have to try because there's no expectation to be good.
True.
So I'm learning, and I'm unfortunately about to pay for it, and I've hurt my back, and I can't really skate anymore. I skate once a month. I haven't even skated once a month lately.
Yeah, is it gotten that bad?
Yeah, my back's just so sore, dude. So, but it's cool, man. You know, maybe it's meant to be. Maybe I'm meant to focus more on other life stuff now. You know, the more serious stuff.
But you've smashed it though. Like your skateboarding is legendary. So I like what you were saying about Mark Zuchu and he doesn't skate to impress or to maintain his hype.
Yeah.
Now, I relate to what you're saying because when I was younger, one of the mistakes I made was I wanted to just win competitions and get sponsored and try and like be this guy, and like I like the ego feeling I would get when I show up to the skate park and it's like, oh, here's the now you're gonna lay your tricks down. And when I got older, actually when I stopped skating, I realized I was actually skateboarding a lot of the time for the wrong reasons. Now you won a few competitions, you were sponsored by Zoo York, which was fire. I remember getting some merch from you and I was like, oh shit. Talk about that young man, because I think it's also a young man energy where you want to dominate the space, and which is like it's fire in a way, you know? It's fire to want to dominate and to want to be competitive. Talk about that a little bit, like the processes. I know you went to Vietnam as well, you won a competition there. Talk about getting sponsored and being in that contest hype.
Sure. Yeah, so being sponsored, I mean, it wasn't that great because the company or the managers for the company wasn't that great. So it didn't really feel that cool. But I guess initially it was amazing because you're like, whoa, I'm sponsored now. Now I'm gonna try even harder, you know. So I really tried hard and like try to film stuff, and it didn't really work out in terms of, I didn't really get the best tricks, and also the inspiration wasn't there from the managers, you know. They were like, okay, film stuff, but then they didn't tell us what to do with the stuff, or like how that stuff being filmed is gonna be used. It's just like film stuff. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Get free stuff, and it's very disconnected. So it wasn't that great. I mean, initially it was amazing, as I said, but it was average. And then doing some comps. I mean, it just didn't feel right, you know. I did a comp while I was sponsored, I think. Didn't get that far. It kind of was just like it's kind of lame. And it was cool because it was meant to be, you know, like I never really wanted to skateboard to compete or to be good or I've always wanted to do it for fun. But as I was saying earlier as well, like with being good, it comes with that responsibility. It comes with that needing to be the best and like showing that you are good. Like, why do we need to show that we're good? It's weird. But it's that young energy, as you're saying. It's necessary for a young man, you know, to have that, to go through that like ego, enjoyment, conquer kind of rah. It's cool. And then being in Vietnam was amazing. It was probably my best skateboarding probably the best I've been.
Yeah, that switch flip back 50. Yeah. I know you don't have the footage. If you ever find it,
I'm gonna get it for this interview.
Okay, that'll be fire.
For sure. Yeah, it was the best skateboarding ever. Like, I had an incident where my back was sore in the beginning, and then I went to this like experimental back healing thing, and these ladies worked on my back, and then I was fine ever since. And my skateboarding was, I was perfect, bro, and I could skate like a beast. You know, rock up and like don't even warm up and like just do crazy shit like without trying. It's dope, bro. I mean, obviously some days it doesn't work out, but some days you just feel so fresh. I don't know, something about Vietnam was just so inspiring as well. You know what I mean? Like, in a foreign country, it's like humid, got like a t-shirt on, you're wearing shorts, and it's like sweaty, bro, and you know you're gonna get sweaty, so you might as well just get into it, bro, and just like fucking go wild. And I mean, also very much so, I think a lot. And then there was a guy that helped me a lot in terms of what I was talking about earlier, like skateboarding for fun and like not taking it seriously. And he was a Vietnamese dude, but he left Vietnam when he was about 2 months old, just before the war. And then he grew up in America, and then he came back to Vietnam to kind of track his childhood to some extent. But he grew up in the East Coast, and he's got like all this knowledge about skateboarding, and he's very chilled, and he just skates for fun. He doesn't, and he's very against the whole like skateboarding jock thing, like the contest kind of stuff, like the conquering stuff. So he definitely inspired me a lot, and he also showed me a lot about, you know, doing tricks tastefully, you know what I mean, not like just doing like a crazy trick and then like not pairing it correctly with the next trick if you're filming a line, you know, or like doing your stuff like tastefully. So that also inspired me a lot, you know. He inspired me in like having him there and like having, you know, getting that like recognition from him, but also like being taught in a way, like kind of being mentored as well. But also not in skateboarding, also in life, you know, like just observing his trip was cool. So I think that also had a lot to do with why it was my best skateboarding there, because of him, because of the energy, and I guess because my back was fine, you know. It was cool, bro. Yeah.
And you've had some other injuries besides the back. Talk for the young cats who are listening. Talk a little bit about the importance of the mental side of overcoming an injury, having some patience. Yeah.
So luckily for me, I haven't been badly injured. I've twisted my ankle twice, sprained it. Once wasn't that bad. The second time was fairly bad. I think I was out for like 6 weeks or something. And I think at that time I think it was after the sponsored thing, because the sponsored thing only lasted a year, and then I was still skating. And at the time, I guess I wasn't that worried about it. Luckily, you know, I wasn't on that hustle of like trying to get better and filming and trying to get clips. So I think it was at a time where didn't actually worry if I was injured, you know. So I can't really say the mental battle, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was lucky all along, and I was actually, to be honest, I played it quite safe. Like I didn't, in general, in skateboarding, I didn't like throw myself downstairs, because I always had in the back of my mind like, shit, my ankle's gonna break, or like I'm gonna break my leg and stuff. So I didn't throw it too hard, and I spent a lot of more time skateboarding the boxes and the technical and the rails, and like focus more on that stuff. Doing shit differently there instead of like jumping downstairs, because I was scared of the injuring stuff. Because if you get injured, bro, I mean, it's horrible, because it's 6 weeks or whatever, 4 weeks. But then that's just skateboarding. But then jumping down stuff, that's a whole nother. Probably gotta wait another 4 weeks or another section.
Facts, brother. So we're talking a lot about the like creative side of skateboarding and connecting it to being creative. And how have you seen, one of the things that I've seen, how skateboarding's become cleaner. The image has become a cleaner, more mainstream. The skating videos that I remember watching when I was a kid, much more vulgar language, dudes skating without shirts on, just snapping their boards, drinking or smoking a blunt in the credits of the video. And then through the evolution of skateboarding in the mainstream, you've seen bigger brands like Reebok and Adidas and Nike, these big brands get involved and really not sort of take over, but kind of take over the mainstream aspect of the sport, or the art form, however you want to label it. How have you seen that with the evolution of it being in the Olympics now as well, and becoming more of a sport than
I'm pretty okay with that. The whole, because it also makes it more accessible to people, you know, in terms of people actually are aware, okay, skateboarding is actually something that anyone can do, you know, instead of like, oh, it's kind of only available to people that are, you know, super alternative or super angry or super cool, you know. So it makes it cool for everyone.
Respect to that. That's
and
fire.
also a really cool thing I saw Nigel Houston, and someone shared it on Instagram, and I saw his post about his experience with the Olympics, because he didn't win the first Olympics. And obviously he's been the best for a long time. He obviously wanted to win. And
the pressure was heavy on him. Yeah.
But he swore a lot in his post.
Okay.
Which was quite cool. Because imagine like whoever, like Pam Gold from America, like saw this guy. He's from like Nigel Houston. He's in the Olympics representing for my country. I'm an American. Let me go search him up on Instagram. Go search him up on Instagram. See his post. He's swearing in his post. Kind of cool, you know. Like you're not gonna get a 800-meter runner like saying, "Oh, I didn't win in the Olympics. Like F this and F I tried so effing hard." Like it was be like, "Yeah, I lost." Like maybe.
Facts, yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like it's kind of bridging that, like that alternativeness into something mainstream, which I think is cool. You know,
yeah,
it's cool
still got the realness in there.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like a perfect, "Oh no, I lost the Olympics. Oh no." You know, he's like, "Oh, I lost the Olympics. Like, fuck it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Let's take it back to the Deep South a bit. How there's people who've made different contributions. We've had fire skateboarders. There's so many that I can name over the years. Besides just the GOATs, Justice and Vaynant, there's been like Bjorn and Justin and even Jethro, Matthew. All kinds of homies who've made different contributions. Dylan and there's so many.
Yeah.
But a lot of people's contribution is often based on how well they skateboard or what they bring on a skateboard. But what about other people? You think of Jono, who helped us get the Fishhook skate park going, or people who start local companies. How important are people, for example, Dante?
Dante, I was going to say.
How important is Dante to skateboarding culture?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also coming back to like the whole alternative. Like Dante is not the most coolest dude in terms of what people think. You know, people obviously judge him and stuff, but he really enjoys it, and like, you know, why can't he be involved in it? You know, and what he brings to the table is like also shows people like, hey bro, you don't have to be this cool dude. You can be any random guy and like enjoy skateboarding and be a skater, even if you don't even skate that well. Just being involved gives you so much community, love, inspiration, and it's fun, you know. It's a cool thing to spend your time on, because it's alternative and you get much more from it than the general cricket or hockey or whatever standard sport. You know, it's alternative. You learn about good music, you learn about culture, you learn about different backgrounds, you learn about, you know, all these things you wouldn't learn about if you just kept it pretty standard.
Yeah, facts.
And yeah, no, it's important. It's cool, dude. It's cool that people, I guess, also get involved in skateboarding, and people that aren't traditionally skateboarders, like as you said, Jono. You know, because it also, yeah, it brings a different side to it.
With regards to hip-hop, you've been, this guy has been so involved in hip-hop in the Deep South that is unreal. We'll do a whole separate interview one day about hip-hop. But just wanted to ask you one question, how hip-hop is, because we got into hip-hop through skateboarding as well.
Yeah.
Especially in the Deep South, like the graffiti scene and the skateboarding scene were quite connected. Like a lot of the graffiti artists would come to the skate park and you would know, oh, that's that writer, that's that writer.
That was cool.
And then that was our gateway into hip hop. And then also when we went to Canal Walk to skate at Boogaloos, we met guys like Shaib who like dressed like, we were like, yo, these guys dress so fire, like, and they, you know what I mean, and they would play hip hop, like, and I remember Shaib with Talib Kweli, and it was like, we were like, yo, hip hop is this thing that is so fire. For you personally, how has hip hop affected your life?
Well, bro, I only listen to hip hop, to be honest, so mostly, and it's such a dope genre of music, dope culture, dope. It's a dope thing, bro, for any young child, because it, once again, it's similar to skateboarding. It gives you more than the general thing if you're open to it, and it's cool because, once again, as skateboarding does too, it kind of it sheds light on all different types of people, all different types of cultures. But mostly, I would say hip-hop more so highlights, you know, the poorer communities and the poorer cultures and the struggle and things we don't normally hear about, you know. And that's, I would say that's the underlying thing that's kept me listening to it, but I haven't really realized that. But the main reason I have been kept on listening to it over the years is because it kind of gives me that extra oomph, you know. When I listen to it, it's like, yo, I feel like much more powerful. I feel like the shit, you know what I mean? And when I listen to other stuff, I mean, it's time and a place for it, for sure. Like, I find myself in my later years, I'm listening to other stuff like softer music and more chilled stuff. But there's a time, you know, when you need that pick-me-up and you listen to hip-hop and it just like makes you feel good, bro, and makes you feel powerful.
Respect to that.
But as I said earlier, was the underlying thing that kept me listening to is because it's hip-hop. Within hip-hop, it shares the stories of the less fortunate and the people that are struggling, that, you know, we don't listen to, we don't normally have the access to listening to. So in hip-hop, you know, it's highlighted a lot. There's lots of little secret things in there. I mean, it's like its own language, you know, and once you learn the language and you see things like way deep and you're like, oh shit, this means that. And, you know, a Glock and a heater, you know, that means a gun. It's the same thing. Glock, heater, it's like a gun. So you learn a lot about these things and it's like, oh shit, okay, cool. People, you know, actually are like this, or like this is how things actually are. And so it's dope, right? Hip-hop's amazing.
Tying into that, what you said about it exposes the things you don't see, especially from less privileged communities throughout the world. Hip-hop has been used as a catalyst to bring things to people's attention. One of the things I respect about you, amongst the many things, is that you're not shy to speak about the fact that you grew up a privileged person in the Deep South. Now, in the Deep South, we have got a lot of people who are wanting to have conversations about like white privilege especially and things like that. Anything to say about that? Like, what makes you so willing? Because some people don't want to engage in that at all. What makes you so willing to just admit that you're privileged and like want to?
Yeah, I think I'm so willing because no one else is willing. You know what I mean? It's like there's such a demand for it, or a need for it from my perspective. Like no one realizes it. A lot of my friends and a lot of people that I'm surrounded by, they don't realize what they're doing. They don't realize how lucky they are and like how they're just abusing, you know, what they have. Just in terms of simple, like you buy like whatever, like a 100 Rand meal and you just consume that like it's nothing, you know, like it's simple. It's very simple. It's so simple, but it's like, that's deep, you know what I mean? Like 100 Rand, you don't know where it comes from. You respect who made it. You don't respect, you know, all this around you. It's on a plate, you know, it's like this fork and nice cloth and who's serving you. You know what I mean? It's like,
preach it, my brother.
It's like, it's weird, bro. So like, and yeah, just people still like on that mindset of like just treating you know, people of darker skin, you know, worse than what you treat people with lighter skin. You know what I mean? Not giving, and also the main thing is not giving the person with the darker skin, giving them time to say what they have to say. You know what I mean? Because everyone has something to say, and if you don't have the time to listen to what they have to say, or just the time to, or even the space just to be there without coming up with all these ideas in your head, you know what I mean? Then it's not equal. You know what I mean? And but it's easy for that to happen because it's ingrained in our system. You know what I mean?
Ooh, facts.
And it's
Facts. It's ingrained in our system.
Yeah.
That's fire.
And we don't even realize that, you know, as white people, we don't realize what we're doing. And it's, I just wanna bring attention to it because people don't realize it, you know.
Respect to that. And you know a lot of the hip-hop heads in the valley, in the deep south. You know all very well. You know Ace the Tongue, Spinner Corp, Plof Stuff. You've met a lot of these guys through things like Flip the Script. And how do you see their impact? And like getting to know them over the last 10, 15 years. Have they inspired you as well?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't know them I don't know them so much personally, but yeah, I remember meeting Ace the Tongue a long time ago, and then we haven't seen each other in a long time. Okay. And then I met him like about a year ago at Ocean View Organics, and he's like, "Oh shit, Josh." Blah blah blah, and then I played some of my beats, and then he was like rapping to them, and it was funny because like some beats I make are like kind of quite trappy. You know, you go through phases, and he was like, "Dibba dibba dibba, oh, dibba dibba dibba." It's like, yo, I'm rapping like someone's like I'm sculpting a dog, because that's what they do in the new music. It's like,
bro, that's,
you know. So you know, he's definitely inspired me as of late, for sure. Ace the Tongue, like just looking at some of his WhatsApp statuses and listening to some of his music again, but also through you, DJ Khaki has inspired me a lot.
Yo, legend, eh? Legend in the game.
Like, yeah, he works so hard and put so much music out there.
Consistency, and realness.
Yeah, word, bro. Who else? Yeah, bro, and you, of course, as well. Every time I hear you rap, bro, I'm just like, bow down, you know what I mean?
Yo,
and I've said that many times, bro.
Respect, my lord, respect.
Your rapping is on the highest level possible.
Shut, my brother. I've been inspired by you as well. You've been a part of my hip-hop journey pretty much from day one. Like, you know, even before Flip the Script, we were talking when you were getting into filming. Let's talk about that a little bit. Filming is a big passion that you have. Did that come around through skateboarding, or was that a different?
It was separate, eh? I always kept skateboarding and filming separate for some reason. But you know, mom got a camera when I was about grade 11, and then I asked to use it, and I just got really inspired. You know, used it, and then I was just hooked. And then I got a GoPro me and my brother got a GoPro or something, and then we kind of played around with that, and I did a bit of editing here and there. It kind of it wasn't really a big thing, but I really enjoyed it. And then, yeah, I got blessed enough to go study at a college, because I didn't get into this more academic position. I didn't have the good enough marks. So I applied and didn't get in. And then my dad said, you know, what about the film industry? And I said, yeah, maybe let's give it a go. And then I was blessed enough to get an opportunity to go study there. And yeah, I kind of studied, it was like for television, so like movies and stuff, so like on set and stuff, like working on set, but it didn't really suit me. Like being on set was too much for me. It was too much energy and too hectic. So I've always done stuff by myself, you know, music videos and just whatever videos, really, fashion videos. But now I'm super into documentaries and trying to push that super hard, because it's my passion, you know. I love just hanging out with people that are different and being in different environments. Like my latest project's I've been hanging out a lot in Vutaboom, doing a video on Samir, and just hanging out with their family, like, you know, eating with them and talking to them and just being in a whole different environment. It really opens your eyes up to the kind of the privilege too, you know, like they have such a little bit, you know, like their rooms are smaller, you know, they live in much more harsher environments. So it's awesome to be around those, you know, to get perspective. We all need perspective, you know, and I guess that's also the reason why I want to bring attention to people about the privilege thing, because I want to give them a perspective and realize, you know, what's going on.
Do you think skateboarding can help with that?
For sure, dude. Definitely. As I said, it also it exposes anyone that is involved in skateboarding. It exposes them to different people, cultures, and environments. Because, you know, you go street skateboarding and there's a cool street spot in, say, Wynberg or Deep River. that's what I used to love about skateboarding as well. You'd go to all these different places. You're like, okay, cool, let's try it out. And like, it's always like kind of risky, but it's cool, because it's thrilling and you get experience in different, which is important.
Fire. So if we take skateboarding, we want to try and, as part of Deep South Connect, I've really been passionate for a while about trying to get skateboarding to become a big thing in Ocean View, even in Masipumelele, Red Hill as well, even Fishhook again in Simonstown and the surrounding areas. You down to be involved in something like that?
Yeah, definitely, dude. 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Inspire the next generation.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. It just opens a different lane as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not everybody wants to play football or be a rapper or be an academic. So it's just another lane. It's another option.
Yeah, for sure.
To be inspired by.
Definitely. Yeah, word, bro.
Talk about last few questions. Let's talk about some of the best street spots. Street spots in the Deep South.
Okay, I'd say Reds number one.
Reds, okay.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay, that's just down here. We are actually right now at Collaborate in Fishhook on Komiki Road. So Reds is just there, okay?
I'd say that's definitely a power one. Just in terms of it's smooth and it's like a little ledge, it's fun to play around with. I would say, what's another good one? Not much else there.
Train tracks?
Yeah, train tracks is cool. Hard to skate though.
Can you still skate the benches at the primary school? I haven't even been there.
No, you can at the primary school, but the ground is quite rough.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's cool, it's still there. But yeah, that used to be a cool place, the primary school where the current
False Bay College is. But they took the benches with them when they moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit to skate there at the current primary school. Me and Dante filmed a bit there when I first got my board, my first Peaches board.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not much to skate there, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just a question about Cape Town as a wider, because Cape Town has a strong skateboarding history. I mean, some of the best skateboarders from all time in South Africa come from Cape Town. You think of Christy Vian, Alan Marola, Moses Adams. His younger brother is also a beast. I mean, even his older brother back in the day, Gary, that guy could skate well, bro. So in Cape Town, skateboarders have inspired you?
Yeah, I would say, definitely Shaib, for sure. Just his skateboarding, but also his energy that he brings to the table. Alan Marola for sure. Christy Vian, Moses, Alan Adams for sure as well. A lot of young cats as well, like as of late, like Chuppies.
He's flipping good, bro.
Ethan.
Truth and Toothless?
Wow.
They were fire, eh?
Tooth and Toothless, very cool. Very
completely different guys, both with fire styles. I remember Tooth did it, the backside overcrook down that rail in George, which is, super fire.
That's retarded.
Yeah, bro. So, dog, I know you are tired and you've had such a busy week. Thank you so much for coming on Deep South Connect, my brother.
Thanks for having me, bro.
We'll do another one again. This was very organic. Didn't really want to prepare questions. Just wanted to have a conversation.
Dope. Shot for having me, bro.
Feel like you blessed us with some skateboarding history and some personal insights there.
Shot, bro. Shot for having me.
Anything else you want to say? Like maybe plug your YouTube channel?
Check me out on YouTube, Josh Escapes. Check me out on
We'll put a
Instagram.
link. We'll put a link as well.
Josh Escapes on Instagram. I've got a new film company coming out. It's called Fameboss Films. I'm gonna try to document.
Fameboss Films, brother.
people that are trying to change the way we do things. That's kind of what I want to push towards. That's about it.
Cool. Final words. A message for the young skaters in the Deep South, or for the young homies who want to be skaters. If you could just say one thing to them.
So I think the biggest thing I've worked through as of late would be just be okay with where you are. There's no rush, but enjoy what you're doing. Like whatever you're doing, just enjoy it to the fullest, because that's the only thing that's going to be granted at that moment, you know. So whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Life is short, but it's also long, so also invest in your life in terms of don't always eat the worst things. Try invest in your life, because you also want to prolong your life, but also you don't want to not enjoy it. So it's a fine balance.
Respect, my king.
Word, dude.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Deep South Connect. It's all about respect.
Sick, dude.
Blessings, my king.
Shot, man.